3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and the Chewing the Dirt podcast. This is episode number 3, and if you missed the first 2, go back and check them out. I made sure to put a folder together with those 2 other podcasts with Mike the Republican and the Mini Liner, my son. Make sure stick around to the end of this podcast because I've got sort of a channel announcement I can share with all of you guys. Anyways, my guests tonight, 2 of them, sort of a husband and wife team, some very dear friends of mine, and I really wanted to have them on the channel because they have some really cool, interesting stuff going on in their lives. Jenny and Kenny.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Oh, good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful.
That's good.
It was really funny when I was talking to Mike when I did his podcast. I said, "Hey, welcome to the podcast," and I was in his garage. So it sounded weird. So every time I do that, and I'm in someplace else other than my own home, it sounds kind of strange.
Well, podcasts are mobile.
Yeah, well, that's the great thing about this. I just take this thing wherever I want to go,
Yeah.
take that camera wherever I want to go, and I can film anywhere. I want to do some more of these out camping. I think that'd be pretty awesome. So, anyways, so I haven't seen you guys in a while. What have you been up to?
Trying to beat the heat, man.
Yeah,
It is brutal this year.
it is. That's
Yeah.
the problem with Arizona.
Yeah.
It's so
No.
freaking hot.
Yeah. She doesn't like the heat so much,
No.
so she hibernates. Can't get her to go
Can't
outside.
go wheeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with that.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny how everything just kind of stops?
We're the opposite of the rest of the country. They hibernate during the winter. We hibernate during the summer.
Right. I always thought, but occasionally you see somebody's video, they went out and they did some run. I mean, I remember we used to do all kinds of night runs, and we haven't even done any night runs. We got one coming up in August.
Right. I'll be leading
Right.
that.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be fun.
That-
I think I get to go
on.
on that one. Anyway, so I thought we'd start out with some introductions. Kind of tell everybody about yourselves, who you know, where you came from, how you met, because you guys are just probably as much of Jeep fans as I am. I'm guessing, and you got 2 of them. So
Right.
so you know, how'd you meet? Where'd you kind of grow up, and how'd you get into Jeeping?
Well, I'm a native San Diegan, first of all.
Okay.
We grew up out there. We met in Escondido. I actually hired her as an electrician at the place I was working at.
Is that right?
Yeah. And then, one thing to another. We ended
Before
up
he
getting
walks
married.
me around and has both legs.
What?
Yeah.
So he's taking me in the truck and he's showing all the electrical stuff. Look at this, look at that. And I'm walking and looking up. And then just as I go to walk out of the truck, I turn and there's a huge hole
There's 2 holes.
in the floor. And he didn't tell me.
There's
And he's
2
telling me
holes.
to look up.
Yeah,
I'm
so
like, oh,
we
man.
walk through the back.
Great.
We get in the back of the vehicle, and it's like 30 feet long. There's a hole for the generator. There's a hole for the door coming in. There's another hole forward.
Yeah.
So we're walking down, and you're in the middle. You only have about 3 feet-ish
Yeah.
between the frame rails as you're walking down this thing. And there's a hole off to this side, hole off to that side. And I'm pointing out all the electrical
Jeez.
runs that's going on. And she's like, oh, yeah. And, I'm walking right down the middle because that's where you stay.
Yeah.
She turns around and she's like, I could have died. And I thought nothing of it, but it was funny.
So
I
you
had no idea.
So you hired her to be an electrician?
Yeah, she was an electrician.
I didn't know you were an electrician.
Yeah, for mobile command posts.
Oh,
We
no
did
kidding.
electrical communications, AC, DC,
Audio, video,
audio, video,
phone systems,
posts, all
internet,
that.
did all of it. Because basically a mobile command post is an office building on wheels.
On wheels.
Literally. So,
Oh, that's amazing.
yeah.
And then he became a service manager, and then he sent me on some service calls, and I spent
She spent like almost a month in Buffalo, New York.
in the summer.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It was terrible
I'll bet it was.
She got to go to Niagara Falls
with 2 other guys.
with a fire chief there, and she got to go to the areas where the public doesn't get to go.
Ah.
So that was kind of cool.
So what I'm kind of hearing is that this kind of turned into an HR sort of nightmare.
A little bit.
Well, let's put it this way: when we got married, they shut the whole company down so everybody could go
Go to
the
Vegas.
wedding.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Oh, that's so cool. How long did you guys date or stay? I mean, how long was this?
About a year and a half before we got
Okay.
married. Well, no, it was about a year and a half.
He asked me, and I said, no, not until we live together for at least a year.
Ah.
Go through one whole cycle. And then he took me to the beach with another couple that we know, and he was going to propose.
It was just the boys.
I didn't know that. I didn't know he was going to propose. So we're walking down the beach, and he wanted the feet in the sand, and I thought he got one of those little sand crabs and wanted to put it on me.
Oh.
So I'm trying to bat his hand away, and we're right by
I'm holding the
ocean.
ring. I mean, we're in the water. We're not by it. We're in the water.
And you're probably petrified you're going to drop it in the water.
If I drop this, done. I'm not going to marry you.
If I drop this, forget it.
If you knock this thing out of my hand.
That's funny.
Yeah. We've had a lot of interesting stories.
Yeah.
So the two of you looked each other deep in your eyes, and Kenny, you were thinking, she is just a spark in my life that I always needed.
Well, I needed an electrician to round off my whole thing, so I needed an electrician, so I got her.
So I organized a trip for everybody to go snowboarding in Big Bear, and I asked him to go, and a bunch of other guys from work.
Let's keep this in context. I was the boss. I was the production manager of the whole place at this time.
And
So I'm like, sure, I can go.
yeah, you can go. So we all met at the shop super early, and he's not there. So I called and woke him up and told him you got to come down here. So I was waiting for him to drive. This weird car pulls up and backs into the spot, and we're like, who's this? And then he pulled up and backed up right next to the car, and he brought a date.
Oh, no.
He brought a date.
Be objective.
So I'm in this guy's car. I'm in the back seat. He's got no heater.
Oh, no.
And I'm looking in the back, through the back window, and those two are driving in his truck. I'm like, yeah, this sucks. But
One of the guys that she was going with, that was going that day, I was going to be firing him in a few days.
Yeah.
So I couldn't, be buddy and stuff. I had to remain objective and
Oh, yeah.
keep
but
my distance.
Him and I weren't connected at the hip.
Yeah, but
We ended up breaking off together halfway through the day anyways.
who did?
We did.
I don't remember that.
Was that you?
No, that was not me. It was some other dude, I guess.
Oh, jeez.
So then we had a company Christmas party. And he brought the same girl.
It was only like a week or two later.
Oh,
And I'm
okay.
like, man, so I brought my best friend since 3rd grade with me. And everyone thought that we were a couple.
The two of you.
The two, yeah, me and my friend
Not the
Pam.
two of you.
Yeah.
No. So they blew every chance because, they thought I was already attached
Oh,
to
jeez.
Pam. And then it was one night at
It was
the bar across the
Chucky's.
street.
There was a little restaurant, hookah bar,
Uh-huh.
lounge, sort of, across the street. That everybody would go there for pitchers of beer and
Sure.
hang out
Hang
after
out.
work, and one thing led to another.
You hit it off.
Yeah.
I remember
Wow.
sitting there and everyone at my table left. So I was going to finish my beer and drive home. And he came over and sat down, and somehow you were teaching me how to tie a tie.
Yeah, I happened to have a tie on that day.
And that's...
And that was it.
That
Yeah.
was it.
That's all it
She
took.
went back
started
to
playing
his-
with my tie, and
Whoa.
there it is.
I went back to his house that night and never left.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Well, that's a
Well,
cool
I went
story.
with all of our friends. So, yeah.
Oh, that's funny. So you're still in California during
Yeah.
all this time, and then you
Yep.
you moved. When did you move to Arizona?
In 06.
Okay.
July 2nd of 06.
Wow.
So you got a crash course in summertime here.
Yeah, you did. Oh, yeah, you did.
A crash course in it.
Yeah.
So.
Did you both moved here for work or just?
Yeah, the company we were working for out there they had gotten in with some VCs, and they were bleeding them dry slowly. They just were using the company to
VCs.
make money. Venture capitalists.
Ah.
So they were just nickel and diming them rather than giving them a proper amount of money to get them over a hump so they can grow and flourish.
Yeah.
They were just stringing it along,
Oh, geez.
slowly bleeding it to death. And it was a painful 2 years.
Oh, I bet it was.
Painful. And there was a big sweep of a layoff. They let a bunch of people go. I was one of them. And then there was a couple of outfits out here that were competitors. So she was saying, you need to get over to Arizona and find another job. So I came over here headhunting a couple places. One of them was Traditional Coaches, Trad Coach.
Okay.
You recognize the name?
Yeah, that's Jim.
Jim Nassett.
That's
that
right.
was his company.
Ah.
I actually came over here to see about getting a job working for him.
That was the number
I
one
didn't know
choice.
that was my number one choice, going to Traditional Coaches.
Oh, that's cool.
And then Quality Vans was the other one. So
Right.
I found out that Traditional Coaches was gone and closed down. So I went to Quality Vans. The owners weren't there. They were going to be back the next day. So I stayed the night. My aunt and uncle lived here. That's the only reason we came here, is I had family in the area.
Makes sense.
So I stayed there. I got a meeting with the owner the next morning. I plopped down our resumes on the table, and I said, you know, we're looking to move over here. You know,
Wow.
what do you want? You know.
Yeah.
And so they talked about it for a little bit. They brought us over here, helped us with a little bit of moving costs.
And here you
That's how
are.
we are. Yeah, we started working with Jim.
Uh-huh.
And then, you know, a couple of years later, it got slow. Everybody, after 9/11, all the money was going into command posts. That was the whole thing, and everybody got command posts. And then around 2006, they were looking at border security, facial recognition, license plate.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of money started being funneled in that direction, and nobody was buying coaches or command posts. So that slowed down quite a bit. And so we both exited. And I went to the place I'm at and have been there since. And she's had a few different places, but yeah.
Okay.
I went back to school
And she went back to school.
Yeah.
in computer networking.
I was going to say, because I think when I met the both of you, you were doing all kinds of IT stuff. And I didn't know much about what you were doing, but... And then I don't think Kenny ever really knew what you were doing until you told me that you were doing a lot of welding and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, So when did you get into the wheeled sports? Because you didn't start with Jeeps.
Well, we had
Right.
quads. In Southern California, we had quads and a three-wheeler. Excuse me.
You both went to desert trips and had
Yeah.
quads separately.
Southern
but
California off-roading
same
is
time.
kind of in our background as we're growing up.
Yeah.
So we got quads, started camping and, you know, stuff like that. And then it was a few years later, after about a year and a half of being here, we got our first Jeep, and we still had quads. But a few years after that, we kind of basically got rid of the quads
Yeah.
and kind of traded them for steering wheel, handlebars for steering wheels.
Yeah. Was it, because I've heard this several times before, people say with age comes a cage.
There's the
Yes.
other one, yeah.
Yeah. You know, at some point you ditch the two wheels or whatever and you get into something with a little more safety,
Yeah.
you know. When we were growing up, we had dirt bikes and quads, and I think for 1 year for Christmas, the boys, all of us brothers, ended up with a Honda 125X four-wheeler, little quad.
Okay.
And it wasn't, I don't even think it had suspension. I think it was just a solid frame.
Yeah.
Those big bubble tires.
Yeah, my first three-wheeler didn't have a suspension, but I rode it like it had a suspension.
Oh, yeah. Well, the
Tires were the suspension.
The first three-wheeler I had was a 185S.
Yeah.
The first one didn't have any suspension. Then we got a couple years later, one of them did have suspension. And then the one that I absolutely fell in love with was my 250R. The three-wheeler 250R I had. It was an 84. I love that bike.
I
did so much
350X.
stupid shit on that bike. I think I probably, if we all have like 9 lives, I probably used up at least 4 or 5 of them on that bike. But I actually have that frame in my backyard. So the funny story about that was I was going to sell it, and I showed it to somebody, and then, I mean, I can't prove whoever took it, but somebody stole it right out of the backyard.
I remember that story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I don't remember how you got it back, though.
well, so the funny part about it was, this is now probably, I was 18 when it happened, so this almost 30 years ago, and it's long gone. You know, I'm not even thinking much about it, and I get this telephone call from a salvage yard in California, and they said, "We have your bike." I said, "What bike? What are you talking about?" Honda three-wheeler, I think it is. And I said, oh, God, that was stolen years ago. Yeah, well, we have it here in the yard if you want it. And then, so what it turns out is that this guy's house was raided, and they found all this stolen stuff. And one of them was my bike. I was like, I can't believe it. I'm going to get this bike back? That'd be awesome. And they said, whoa, don't get excited. All I have is the frame and the rear axle and the swing arm. Or I have the frame and the rear swing arm. Oh, crap, that's no good. I don't really want that. But then the stupid sentimental part of me was like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to have that back? Wouldn't it be cool to rebuild that bike and have it? And at that time, Joseph heard this conversation, and he was all, Dad, that'd be awesome. Why don't you get it back? It'd be cool. And they wanted to charge me like $500 or $700 worth of lot fees.
Oh, man.
And I was, no, that's not happening. Forget it. And anyways, well, it turns out they ended up settling on, well, okay, $150 and you can have it. And it was probably one of the dumbest decisions I ever made. I was like, oh, I got to have it back. I got to have it back. And
how many years ago was that?
Yeah. I see your point.
Oh, wait, how many years was it?
Well, he's just been hanging on to it for X number of years, and with intent to do something,
Yep.
and just never really got to it.
I've had it now in the backyard for at least 3 or 4 years. And you can't find parts for it. The only thing you can really do is find a bike that's complete.
You might be able to get lucky and find somebody who's trying to do a custom build or something and sell the
Yeah.
frame.
Yeah.
You might get that $150 back at some point if you tried.
I'm-
Then you got to put the effort into it,
To put it all back together again.
or just sell it as parts.
Well,
Sell the frame.
it's only 2 parts.
Right.
Only
That's
two
what I mean.
parts.
75 each.
Yeah, it's probably going to end up being like wall art someplace in a garage or something at some point. I don't know.
There you
I
go.
don't know. At this point,
Wind chime.
it's a big wind chime, but
A bench.
yeah, there you go.
There you go. Seat.
So you leave the quads, you get a Jeep. You mentioned you got your first
It
Jeep.
was her Jeep.
Yeah,
Her Jeep. Yeah.
I remember
It's a little
that
white
Jeep.
YJ.
Mm-hmm.
Little thing. Oh man, the first run we did, we had just gotten it, literally 2-3 weeks. I did a bunch of PM stuff to it, got it going.
Yeah.
The tires were old and pretty rough looking, like
Yeah.
kind of dry and bad shape.
Like not good at all.
And so we went with Todd. Todd was our neighbor, lived right behind us at
Okay.
the time. That's how we know Todd.
Okay.
He was our next door neighbor right behind
Interesting.
us.
It's all coming
So,
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he took us to Box Canyon. At first I think the intent was to go to the Coke Ovens, but we never really got that far.
Yeah.
We got maybe to that first section where you go around a sharp sort of Z turn and up, and then you go down that big rock long hill. I think we were just before that, before
Okay.
we ever got there. So we were still not too far from Martinez Mine area.
Yeah.
Long story short, it was supposed to be like a few hours. We get lost.
Oh no.
We'd never been there, other than like on our quads.
Yeah. It's a whole
short
different
little
story.
short little rides and stuff. And so Todd, we're following him. I'd never been on this part of the trail, and he gets turned around and lost. So we're trying to get out of there, and we go down a wash and end up into a draw that is a dead end. So we're losing all this valuable time. Here goes the sun.
Yep,
The
yep.
sun's getting, the shadows are getting longer, and it's getting dark. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh man. We got our kid, the dog. I brought some extra gas just in case, because I wasn't sure
Right.
what kind of range this Jeep
But
had got, because it was brand new.
But you're out there in the middle of nowhere.
We were out there in the middle of nowhere. We end up getting out of there about 11:30 at night, out Mineral Mountain Road.
Oh yeah, way to the north.
We went all the way to that part of the area.
Yeah.
Luckily, we bumped into somebody who helped us.
Well, that and Todd got some cell service and talked to his brother
Yeah.
and sort of got himself oriented.
And now you could probably go out there and drive it blindfolded, right?
Well,
Yeah,
to some
I
degree.
could.
I got a better navigation system now. I kind of rely on that a little still, but
Yeah.
that's the smart thing to do.
Yeah.
I know my way around enough, but it's a lot of, you take a wrong turn, you can easily get turned around,
Oh, easy.
especially at night.
Especially out there, yeah.
Um,
I remember the white Jeep because that's what you had when I first met you.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's all we had, yeah.
yeah,
And then about a year or so later, we ended up getting my Jeep.
yeah,
Because every time we wanted to go wheeling, she had to drive.
yeah.
She's
I
like
let you drive on the
a
highway.
fiend. Yeah, I get to drive there and back. She drives the trail.
That's half and half.
I remember when you got that Jeep, and I'm sure that you were super excited, but I remember you were really excited about the whole thing, because I remember it was like it just happened to be this awesome deal that you just happened to fall into, and it had all kinds of really cool components and stuff on it. And
I saw the ad and I'm reading it and I'm like, there's no way. I dismissed it, literally. And then like a week later, we went to a club meeting.
Yeah.
And I was talking to somebody. I think it was Roger. Right behind us.
Yeah.
Well, at that time, we kind of sat right over there. We started hanging out with them a little bit.
Kind of networking a little bit.
And we were talking about it, and I'm like, I wonder if. So I went home and looked online, and sure enough, it was still available. And so I called the guy, got an arrangement. And that Thursday night, I bought it Saturday morning.
Oh, yeah.
Or Saturday afternoon.
I remember first seeing your Jeep, because I remember at the time, about that time, the big name in this place was Toys by Troy.
Yeah, he built that Jeep.
Yeah, and that yours has all kinds of Toys by Troy stuff on it.
And it had stickers all over it that said Toys by Troy too. Yeah, it did.
It used to.
At the time, it had stickers all over it still.
Yeah.
Toys by Troy on the windshield, on the shocks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's still quite a bit of stuff on there that is his.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of things have been old and worn out and had to be replaced. So.
Sure. I haven't heard actually that name in quite a while. I mean, I remember I drove out to his shop once, and I think I bought I think that's where I bought my front bumper for my LJ, because I had his front bumper on there, and then he just kind of disappeared.
Yeah, he just vanished.
Yeah.
Todd grew up next door to a man named Chuck.
Yeah.
Chuck knew Troy very well. They were pals. They'd go wheeling a lot together. So Chuck was very familiar with Troy and the build and all that stuff. And he was telling me a little bit about some of the stuff. But yeah, Troy had just up and vanished. I didn't even know about him until I saw the sticker on the Jeep. And I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, his place was way up in North Phoenix. And it was I don't know how big of the shop was or whatever, but they were making their own stuff. And he had a killer TJ. It was red, and the beadlock wheels were all polished and looked really shiny, and he's just had a really killer Jeep. But yeah, I think that was about the time where I had gotten into my first Rubicon and hadn't really started any rock crawling just yet, but I was watching a lot of his videos and stuff, and that's what I was like, I got to get into this rock crawling. This is really cool. But now, of course, your YJ is gone. You have we have another one, but then both of your Jeeps have gone through like.
With that little white YJ, literally that was a nickname it had. It was the little white YJ because it was on 31s. Then we bought a set of 33s.
Yeah.
And then a few years later, we did a couple other things. We put a front locker on it, Aussie locker.
Oh yeah.
And we put that on there.
Yeah.
And then a couple of years later, we did. What did we do? The tires first, or did we do the rear end?
Jim was getting ready for the Rubicon, so we had the same Jeeps, same year.
Oh yeah, roll cage.
Yeah.
So we did everything side by side.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, I parked them back to back, and I bought her a roll bar kit. I built it. Jim Chinese blueprinted it. Got another set of parts and stuff. I'm bouncing back and forth between them, in and out of the back of each Jeep, building roll cages.
I remember that.
We did that in a weekend. I built 2 roll cages.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. And we took them out and got them. Jim took them over and got them powder coated.
Oh yeah.
Put them back in.
That's the right way to do it.
Yeah. And then we got her some fenders. I chopped those up and replaced those. Put some fenders on there. Painted them. We had Andrew do a rear end, an 8.8, because they had that Dana 35 C clip.
Yeah.
Terrible axle.
Oh, I know.
Had to get rid of that thing.
That 8.8 is the way to go with some of those Wrangler builds.
And then I think we rear-geared her too at that time for that Jeep. We rear-geared it also. And she was like, driving it home that day, it still had 35s. And she's like, or no, 33s. Still had 33s at that time. She's like, wow, I can do 45, no problem again. and then like a week or two later, we got 35s. And she's like, I can't even go 45 anymore.
What happened?
Oh, that's funny.
It was funny. She's like, I
No,
can't even go 35 or 40
looking
anymore.
back at it now, it's hysterical. So the little white YJ is now, because that's been gone for years now, but you've had this YJ now for...
She found
Bandit.
you found Bandit, right?
Bandit.
You
We
found
were
Bandit.
looking to just switch the engine.
Yeah, we wanted to do some upgrades
Six-cylinder,
because
wasn't
the
it?
other one was a
Yeah.
4-cylinder.
Yeah.
Really kind of gutless.
Gutless, yeah, small.
But then we found that YJ, and it had everything we wanted to do. It was sprung over.
Yep.
Had the 6-cylinder.
Oh
I
yeah, that
remember,
was
I
a
was-
big thing too. The spring over we hadn't done, and I was, oh man, I didn't really want to do that on my
Yeah.
own.
So we found it, and we went over one night, and it was 6 guys.
Yeah.
And me.
6 of us went there
And
and
you were
swarmed,
there.
I was
swarmed this Jeep, had looking at it over head to toe, to top to tail and
Yep.
back, and
It was
man.
a little rough. I remember it had some transfer case issues or something, and but otherwise
That was
it was...
funny.
But it's gone a
It
long
was
way
clean.
now.
Yeah, it was clean. I mean, we did a few things to it right out of the gate. You helped us. We took the transfer case. We had
Transfer cases, yeah.
a 4-to-1. It was we had the Terra low, and the other one had a 2 low
Right.
kit. So we commingled the
together.
parts, put the regular transfer case back in the little white one, put the good one in the
remember
black
that.
one, swapped that out. So that was
Yeah.
that one had a 4-to-1 transfer case then. It had the Dana 44, the 6-cylinder. It already had the 8.8 in the rear. It was there. It was lifted.
Yeah, it was way. It was
Spring
ready
over.
To go.
It was ready to
Geared.
go. Yeah, everything was there.
What is probably the best thing when you first think of your Jeep? You're like, oh, that's what I'm the most excited about with your Jeep. Like either upgrade or whatever.
It's my my Atlas
Your Atlas.
transfer case.
Yes.
That's got to be awesome.
It is.
I remember you had some big change because you did coilovers in the back and then the Atlas, and I was like, oh man, she's unstoppable now.
That thing wheels great. It wheels better than my TJ, and they're almost identical platforms except for obvious the YJ platform and the TJ platform. Everything else is identical currently.
Right. Yeah, and yours is still leaf sprung in the front though.
Still in the front.
In the
yeah.
front, yeah.
That's Bandit.
Yeah, my first Jeep
bad.
was a YJ, and I remember when you had your little white YJ, I was reminiscing. I was like, oh, I miss my white YJ because that was the first Jeep I ever owned was a white one, just like yours. It had a 6-cylinder in it, but it was still a pretty cool.
The guy who bought it flopped it on its top,
The second time he took it out.
going up Crown
No
King,
kidding.
up back way to Crown King. I think on the long, what do they call that obstacle?
Escalator.
The escalator or something. Yeah, I think near the top. I think he flopped it over.
Wow.
I was so mad.
I saw a picture of it
Oh, I
upside
bet.
down, creased the whole passenger
no.
side door, and I'm like, dude, because he had the doors on. Since then, I mean, basically, she sold her doors on Bandit. I'm not doing these ever again. Tube doors.
Gone.
Yeah.
Done.
I'm not gonna. I have no chance to go back. I'm full commitment.
Yeah.
Tube doors. So.
Well, when you're up like this,
You need-
and you gotta open the door, it comes back and it's always
Right.
smashing your leg. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, that's it.
I want to get a set of 2 doors for mine, but there's a lot of stuff I want to be able to do.
Yeah.
So yours now is pretty well killer, and yours you got some upgrades
I
too
caught
on
up
yours.
to her. I caught up to
Because
her.
you did
Yeah.
some axle work and a transfer case.
Yeah, I
and-
got a Dana 44 in the front. I had the Atlas
Yeah.
transfer case.
man.
I
We all bumped up to
re-geared. I
37s.
re-geared to the same gearing as her. Now we're both up to 37s.
Yeah.
We're essentially the same exact platform.
Yeah.
Same drivetrain, same transfer case, same gearing, same tire size.
That's awesome.
It's fantastic.
So you can follow each other. You can follow each other everywhere you go.
And that was the
Not
plan
really, though.
to have. Yeah, I know. I mean, there's some stuff that my vehicle will do a little better than hers, and there's some things that she can crawl right over stuff, and I struggle. I don't know what it is,
Or can't go at all.
or can't go at all.
What's the one that one in
In Sand Hollow, the chute. I tried 4 times. I couldn't get up there. I almost flopped. I got way up on one side. Like I had about 6 feet of air. You could almost stand and touch the tire as I was up there, and I stopped, and so I let it roll back. And I tried 4 times.
She walked right up.
She walked right up a couple of days before. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. I'll bet you that was probably just suspension setup.
It might be, and I think I'm probably carrying a bit more weight in the
back.
rear with tools and extra parts and stuff like that. I think we weighed it the last vehicle inspection we did. I'm carrying like 300 plus extra pounds back there.
Well, and did you add a stretch to your YJ? No. Did they stretch it back a little bit?
Not yet.
We haven't done that. So, and she went up it the year before too.
Just walked right up.
Yeah, yeah.
Isn't that funny how that happens sometimes?
Just that, I don't know what it is about that vehicle, but it just loves to crawl.
Yeah.
Loves it.
It's because of me.
It's because of you. Yeah.
Well,
It's her little bandit.
I used to when I was rock climbing, I used to love to go to the rock gym, and I used to love to watch the women rock climb. And I'm not gonna lie, they were nice to look at. But the other thing is the women just seemed to be a lot more graceful. You know, their moves were a lot more. It was more of like a ballet watching a woman rock climb, which was just beautiful to see. Other than us just burly, climb that rock, and grunting and growing while we're pulling that stuff up. So maybe that's part of it. Maybe that's part of it.
Maybe.
What's your if you had to point out one of the most memorable things ever that you remember ever doing anything off-roading, like it be a trail or an event or something that happened, and just think of one thing that just stands out in your mind as, you know, that's what this whole thing is. That's what this whole hobbyist sport is all about. You have any idea?
Shoot.
The shoot. Yeah.
That is
It's San
so
Hollow.
fun. I love San Hollow. I'd move there.
I
in a
gotta
heartbeat.
I gotta go. I haven't been there yet.
It's all kinds of terrain. It's mostly sand, so there's
a lot
no
of sand.
ruts or washboard. No
Yeah.
washboard. And then you
Just
can
nice.
go just a little cruise to the dunes, or you can do some hardcore rock crawling.
Yeah.
It's similar in a way the rocks are to like Moab.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got some of that really grippy, I guess like
Sticky rocks,
sandstone
yeah.
rock that's got some good grip to them.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff like that. For me, I don't know. I just enjoy getting out there and hitting the trails, just being in the wide open spaces and
Yeah.
magnificent views and stuff. I remember the first time we went to Moab. We're doing 7 Mile Rim Road, and we're just getting into it, and we're getting to the point where you get to that overlook before you get to Uranium Arch.
Yeah.
And we're just going through, and I'm just like, I got the grin from ear to ear, and I'm just like, God, this is fantastic,
Yeah.
you know. And I'm all by myself, just driving around.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
there is,
that was pretty
I think,
cool.
like with Mike, he remembered to a T. He could tell me the exact story about when he bought his Jeep and everything. And I mean, that's what I'm finding is that people just always they have this. They can remember that very special thing, whatever it was when they're off-roading. That was like the creme de la creme of whatever their experiences. Oh, see, all I do is say something. She thought of something.
Wipeout Hill.
Oh, you remember that? We all walked down and we're checking it out, and we start heading back up to the top, and Chad goes, "Who's going to be the first?" Boom! You hear the engine fire up. She's already back at her Jeep
Right.
and fired
I was
up.
so excited.
You couldn't even finish
remember
the
that.
sentence.
Yeah, I remember because with that trip that we were on, I had Jen with me and Joe, and I was like, I'm doing this.
That was the same day as the one I was just telling you about on
Yeah,
7 Mile Rim.
yeah,
That
7
was
Mile
that
Rim.
same day,
Yeah,
same trail.
I wanted to do that obstacle so bad, and Jen was like, "You're not doing that obstacle. We have to drive home. Remember?" She's probably going to be angry at me because I was making fun of her.
I remember.
yeah.
I remember when I got
Have to
to the
edit
bottom
that
of
out.
that. I got down there a little fast, and I got to the very bottom drop off, and I could feel the back end get a little air.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
That was kind of crazy.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, oh, because I didn't realize, I was going down all right at a reasonable speed, but it was a little steeper than I thought, and that last little bit was like, whew.
Oh yeah. Oh, Jeepin'.
Love it.
I hate it in Arizona when it's so damn hot, but I definitely want to
Yes.
get out and do some more wheeling.
Yeah.
So, well, what would you, if you had a piece of advice you were given to a newbie, a new driver, a green Jeep driver, what would you give?
Don't buy something that's already overbuilt.
Yeah.
Too advanced for your skills.
Yeah, well, because you develop that skill set with lesser capabilities. You learn to be a better driver you can do more things with a lesser capable vehicle as a better driver.
Right.
And so you develop the driving skills and the technique and learning how to, pick your line and follow the line and choose the right places to tire placement and things
Yeah.
like that, and where you can and can't go, where you should or shouldn't go.
Right.
things like that. And then as you get more experience level, then you can start to build up. Don't go,
Right.
like right away. I can do 40s, and you just
Asking for trouble.
Well, that, and then you can get to the point where it gets too easy. The vehicle is very, very capable,
Yeah.
and it can do just about everything out there that you want to do.
Takes the challenge out of it.
It can too
Well,
quickly,
yeah.
and then so you might find that you're like, that's just boring.
Well, not only that, but some situations come up on the trail that you didn't expect. And if you don't have that experience to react the way you should,
Yeah.
because you just get in there and point and drive,
Point and shoot.
you don't know. If you start to slide sideways on a hill, stop. Don't hit the gas.
Yeah.
Things like that comes with
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah. And I think we're pretty lucky too, because we're part of a good group that's got some good knowledge in it and helpful people, and I feel like there's a lot of members in our group that would give their shirts to you if you needed it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, definitely join a club.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, that's a good piece of advice. Join a club so you can put yourself around a group of people who do this a lot and frequently, and you can just be a sponge
yeah,
for all the people around you.
yeah,
Because you might have people like Roger, decades of experience.
I miss Roger.
Gary?
Gary, decades of experience and knowledge, and they're just
Bruce,
a wealth
Mike.
of knowledge that all those guys that
Yeah.
you
Been
can
around a
learn
while.
from.
Oh yeah.
So
And
yeah,
they love
that's
to
another
teach
thing.
and share it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Nice.
is too. So
I-
that would be the thing. You know,
Yeah.
don't go too big too fast. Work your way up and get into a club to where you've got a good group of people around you can learn from and have a support system.
Yeah, it's not necessarily what you know, it's who you know.
Right.
Kind of get into a network.
Yeah.
It just dawned on me, it was a memory I have of you off-roading that I thought for sure it was going to end badly. But remember when we all went down to Tucson?
Oh yeah, I wasn't there.
And-
Oh my God, yes.
we were on Three Feathers. We were going to go back to Chivo Falls, and we were on Three Feathers, and there was that big crack all the way over to the left-hand side of the trail, and you were like, I want to just do that crack one more time. And I remember we got down to the end of it, and I've got video of it, I'll put it in right here, but we got down to the end of that crack, and I thought for sure you were going over.
I did too.
That front tire dropped, and you were like, whoa, way up on the front.
And then went.
I remember you used that as your little opening
Yeah, it was.
photo montage or whatever you call that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised my pants were clean after that. Very surprised.
I have never soiled myself off-road. But there's always going to be that one day. Who knows?
Yes.
So, all right. Well, the other thing I thought that we could talk about was all these puppies.
Oh yes.
Because
my second love. Well, my third.
who-
Sorry, honey.
who
Yeah.
doesn't like puppies?
Yes.
So Kenny and I foster puppies
Mm-hmm.
for Love Connection Dog Rescue. We found them on Facebook,
Yeah.
and we got our first puppy from them. And I started to
Tell-
learn their process.
Tell them the puppy's name.
Oh, we forgot T-case,
T-case.
transfer case.
Yeah.
He
Not
makes
Jeep
four-wheel
related
drive
at all.
possible. and I really liked their program and the way they screened people and what you had to go through to be able to adopt.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure there's all kinds of hoops to jump through.
There is. They make sure that it's a good home. They've turned down people who great people, but their backyard fence wasn't tall enough, so they wouldn't let them adopt a dog, which I
Yeah.
thought was sad but good. A dog
Yeah.
could have jumped out and got hit by a car.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So we wanted another puppy, so we fostered 3 of them
That was a few years later.
with intent to keep one, which was great because then we got to get to know their personalities and pick the one that fit in best, which Atlas fitted in the best.
Yeah.
But we go to pick up the puppies, and they're like, "Can you take 3?" We were only going to do 2,
Yeah.
and we're like, "What's one more?"
Right.
One more puppy.
Everybody loves puppies.
It was
How hard can it
chaos,
be?
man. 3 little puppies, chaos.
Oh, I
we
bet.
had no idea what we were getting into.
That's so funny. I did notice a trend, though, is you have TK, you have Atlas.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to probably have another one named something like you know, Dana 300 or Terralo or something.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So how long you been dog fostering?
About a year and a half.
Yeah.
Year and a half.
Yep.
We've had
15
15
puppies we fostered. We kept one of those. Currently, we are, this year alone, we're on our third batch of 3.
So 9 so far.
This year.
Yeah.
And it's only halfway through the year.
Oh man. So
she's like the dog whisperer, though, the puppy whisperer. It's so cool because she works from home, so she's here all day long with the puppies. It's her and puppies, just puppy. So she deals with them all the time, and it's like the people who adopt the puppies after they've been fostered through us.
right,
They like get a turnkey puppy.
ready to go.
It's ready to go. He's potty trained, doggy door trained.
So awesome.
They know all these things, and she even takes them out and was teaching them little tricks and stuff with like a little obstacle course.
Yeah.
Getting some agility going on.
Well, not the little puppies.
Not the little pup, not like jumping and stuff, but just kind of just training them, getting them, to respond to
and
stuff like that,
Call when you're when you're called.
Yeah.
and get them to go potty
Who?
on time and when you, want them to.
Yeah. Whose idea was it to foster? And what did you think when she first brought that up?
I was like, okay for the first time because I wanted to get another puppy.
Right.
I was thinking, okay, we'll do it because I wanted to keep one.
Yeah.
That was the first batch of 3.
And she goes, honey, can we take some more?
Yeah. And then so we're like a month into it, and these dogs were 6 weeks when we got them. And we're like, okay, so 6 weeks, they get neutered and fixed.
Right. Shots and everything and all that.
And I'm like, at the time I already had 3 of my own.
Mm-hmm.
No, I had 4. I had 4 of my own. And these puppies. So we had 7 dogs at that first time around. 7 dogs. And it was a rainy winter. So they're in and out, mud everywhere, and the grass was soaking wet. We had an easy up out there just to let the dogs have a place to pee that it wasn't so mopped and soaked.
Yeah.
And so they're getting closer and closer to having to be fixed, and neutered and spayed. And I'm like, I can't provide security for these dogs when they're, in stitches and stuff. They can't.
Yeah. Plus all the the cones.
And I've got that, and I got 4 others already, and they're romping around playing with each other. I'm like, we got to get rid of 2 of these.
This is a madhouse.
I can't provide enough. I can manage 1 and make sure he's safe and okay.
Right.
But 3, because I'm not here all day long. She is.
Right.
And
Which made me really like the rescue because we gave them advance notice and we told them, when they go to alter, we can't take them all back.
Right.
And they were understanding and they got everything set up. It was no hassle,
Yeah.
no argument, no nothing. But like, we appreciate your help. We'll come get them.
Yeah.
And they did.
It was cool. Yeah.
So how long do you keep a group of dogs before they're adopted
It's
out?
like 6 weeks or more now. It's somewhere
maybe
around there.
6 weeks.
6 to 8, I guess.
The 3 we have right now will probably be gone this weekend.
Oh.
And I've only had them for a week.
Yeah, I
They got-
remember you telling me these guys haven't been here very long.
They got one of them is going back to the lady the house that she was born in.
She's
So
gonna
we
keep
call
her.
that a foster fail because
Oh.
she wants to keep her.
Gotcha.
And the other 2 are going to another home so she can be with them and figure out which one she wants to keep.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping I'll get the rest of the litter
Oh,
for
I
the
gotcha.
others. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
They have to stay as a smaller unit, like 2 a pair, until they get 12 weeks, and they can start to spread
Separate.
apart, and they have all their shots and stuff
Yeah.
at that time
They
too.
can socialize.
Yeah.
So foster fail isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just means
Not
that
in this
somebody who
case,
is
yeah.
like, oh, I can't give these dogs up.
Yeah. Well, she's like that too. She has a hard time separation anxiety.
Well, that's what I was just going to ask too is how do you not get attached
That's tough.
to
The
these
first-
dogs?
She's really good at
The first
follow
one, I
up.
knew I was keeping one of them, so that was okay. And then the second time, we had him for.
Well,
We
the
had one of
second
them
time.
for 8 weeks. We had Remington.
No, that was the 4th time. That was the 4th time, because
Not
we had
vacation
we had the one vacation foster. I count her as one, because we had her here for a couple weeks or a little over a week, and then we had the 2 girls
That was for a week or two.
No, that was a couple weeks at least. Passat and Jetta.
Oh,
They were Volkswagen.
Volkswagen doggos. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, they were good girls. We
Yeah.
had them for a couple weeks or so. Then we had 3 at the beginning of this year. One of them actually went to the owners of Natural Restoration.
Oh, Justin
Remington.
and Nicole.
Justin and Nicole.
Oh, that's cool.
They got Remington.
That was the one we
of
were
the
gonna
3.
keep.
Yeah, if we
Ah.
couldn't.
He stuck around.
Yeah, he was starting to really get bonding with her.
But then I met them, and I'm like, nah,
Yeah.
that's their dog.
Well,
Yeah.
Justin had texted something because I posted something on the Facebook, and he asked me about him, and I told him. And he's
Get
like,
with,
"Ooh."
get with the adoption
Yeah.
agency.
Well, and then they came over and did a little meet and greet, and then we took them to meet their dog and him, and it
Uh-huh.
worked out.
Yeah.
So, but it's really cool because she's kept up with the families of that first 3 we had this year. She's on Facebook with them, so she gets regular updates on the puppies' progress, how they're doing.
Oh, that's cool.
All 3 of those from that first litter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it gets easier to let them go, especially when you know it's a good family.
Yes, that's a
Yeah.
huge relief, knowing they're going to a good family.
Knowing
Yeah.
that process that they go through, that I went through to get my dogs, and I'm like, okay, it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, they're
That-
vetted well.
That's the other thing I think would be kind of hard if you're doing this, is not to get so attached to them that you can't let go of them.
It gets
Right.
easier.
Yeah, I imagine
It
it
seems
would.
like it has, yeah.
Sometimes if you've had them and you're so tired, you just want them to go away.
Somebody take these dogs.
Just take 'em.
When they gonna get adopted?
Because you get tired. But see, now we have gotten it down pretty good. You know, we got our little gate set up.
Yeah.
We got our backyard with the fenced-in pool
Around the
area
pool.
for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
So
Dog
as
doors.
we learn,
We've
organize
evolved
ourselves
with it.
better.
Yeah.
So it's not as bad as their first time. The
Yeah.
first time was a little crazy.
Yeah. I've always grown up with dogs. You guys have always had dogs since I've known you. So, I mean, there's just, I don't know, but there's a special kind of person that just has to have a dog, or it just, I mean, they're part of your family, and you know.
They're fun.
Oh
They
yeah.
make you laugh.
Yeah, that's what I can imagine.
Shoot, just before we got this litter, between the other 2 litters we actually had to get, we had to let a couple of them go early of the last litter because we had to get everything back calm and let our dogs settle down
Oh yeah.
because we're doing a vacation foster, I suppose, for her sister and their family because they were on vacation for 5 weeks. So we had that dog, but she's been here before, so it's not like she'd never been here. She'd been here on vacation from Thanksgiving and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but she lived with us for 5 weeks, and she just left on the 18th,
Oh wow.
literally last weekend.
Everybody likes doggos.
Yeah.
And these little
this
guys
little
came
sweetness.
on the 20th.
Yeah, they left, and then these guys came a couple of
Such
days
a sweet
later.
Doggo. Yep.
Oh, I'm so tired. That's Odette. She's so sweet.
Odette.
Odette.
So these dogs are what, 3 months old?
7 weeks.
No, they're like
Oh, really?
7 weeks. Yeah, 7 weeks old. We get them around 6 weeks,
Oh yeah. Okay.
6 to 12, and then around 12 and up, they start to be available to be adopted, and they can go to a home with another dog or no dog.
Mm-hmm.
It's 12 weeks if you have another dog.
How are your other dogs? Like with these new fosters, are they pretty tolerant of what's going on?
Atlas, our younger one, loves it.
Yeah.
He loves to play with them.
Yeah, he's such a good boy. He plays with them. I
Oh,
mean,
that's good.
what he does also is, she makes them turnkey by training them for
Yeah.
the humans. He teaches them to play with other dogs, so they're used to big dogs and playing. and
Right.
so they're getting that socialization with another dog
Oh, that's
already. So they're even used to that. So they can go to a home with another dog,
awesome. And they're ready to go. Like
and
you
they're
said,
ready
turnkey.
to go. Turnkey puppy. Yeah, totally.
Ready to go.
Totally.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, our other one, TK, he's doing a lot better with this group. The first group we had earlier this year were all boys.
Oh.
So I think that little bit of a dynamic is awkward for
Yeah.
him.
They all get into
So-
peeing match.
Well, not necessarily that. It's more of, hey, I'm the boss. Arr! You know, don't come near me.
Right.
You know, and then plus, I think the chaos.
Oh
He
yeah.
doesn't like all the chaos because you got 3 puppies doing this and that, and he's like,
yeah.
what the hell's going on here?
All
Will you stop? Get away from me. Arr!
all the
You know,
noises,
that
and
kind
the
of stuff.
barking.
Atlas
and
is like, yeah, this is great. He's running
That's
around
awesome.
playing with them. He lets
Oh,
them
that's
chew
so
on them.
cool.
They chew on each other. And yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
But T-Case is actually coming around. He's better with the female puppies. He's more
Oh, he's a-
mellow with them.
He's
yeah.
a ladies'
So
man.
he, yeah,
Yes, he
yeah,
is.
yeah. So he's not so off kilter, I guess, or
Yeah.
off balance because of a threat of
Yeah.
another male.
Yeah, that whole alpha male thing is it's a real deal.
It's a real deal.
yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we also have sort of 2 alphas already between Atlas and T-Case. They're both
Right.
kind of alpha,
Right.
but T-Case kind of got thrust into that because our other alpha, Mickey,
Mm-hmm.
we had to put him down last year
Suddenly.
and that was tough. And T-Case was like thrust into the role of, I'm now the leader.
Yeah, I'm alpha now.
What? I'm not ready for this. So he kind of
I'm only 2.
he overdoes things.
Yeah.
He hasn't figured out
Yeah.
his balance with that.
I remember Mickey, and I can always remember kind of joking with you about it. Look, because Mickey always kind of looked at me like he wanted to rip my face off.
Or her dad used to say, he looks at me like I owe him money.
Or maybe he was looking at you trying to figure out who is this guy.
Well, he
Okay.
liked to kiss
He's
you too.
He's profiling
He's like
you.
checking you out. He's like, well, I'm gonna kiss you.
That's funny.
That's what he's looking.
Kiss you or bite you?
Yeah,
That's
I'm not
funny.
sure. Yeah, but he was a really good dog. We had him for 13 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that? I said this to Jen and Joseph because we've had two dogs as our family, and both of them were dogs that eventually had to be put down. Chloe was just getting very, very old, and she was having a hard time getting up and moving and walking. She had really bad arthritis in her hips and her back, and she couldn't walk. And she wasn't. Then at that point, she wasn't eating, and it was just really a big mess. And then Autumn, she went from feeling good one day to now I don't feel so good to all of a sudden death's door, like fast.
Oh, yeah.
Like
I
super
remember.
fast.
That was a
It's
good
terrible.
dog.
She was a great dog, and she ended up with lymphoma, and she could very well have had it. I mean, we had her, I think, and I know Jen will correct me, but I think we had her for almost 3 years, 2.5 or 3 years or something, and she was a great dog,
Very, very good dog.
but she didn't know how to be a puppy. She didn't want to play with toys. She wasn't wanting to go run around the backyard. You know, she was truly a rescue. They found her and a group of dogs out in the desert near Sells, Arizona. But, you know, with being us for a while, I think she finally got to that point where she had her best life,
That's good.
you know. And that, both, when you deal with a dog's death like that, it's heartbreaking no matter what. But I remember telling Jen, I said, you know, the ironic thing about this is we always love our animals. We always want to get another one. We know what's going to happen. And it doesn't matter anyway because we're going to do it again. We'll get another one. We'll have them for 12 or however years. We have all these memories, you know.
Another way, you can get over it more quickly. Get another one.
Get
Give that
another one.
love. Give that love right to a new one.
Yeah,
You know, same thing.
yeah.
That's how we ended up with T-Case. Our other older dog, Buster,
Yeah.
he went down, and literally she fell apart.
It-
And that was February, and then by March,
Yeah.
4 weeks later, we got T-Case.
Well, and haven't you noticed too? It seems like because I remember Bruce and Janet lost one of their dogs, and then we lost one, and you guys
Rick-
lost one, and then
Rick
Rick
just lost one
like
couple
two back to
weeks
back.
ago. or
HB
more.
and Deb did too. They
Yeah.
lost them about the same time.
Yeah, it's it's kind of crazy.
It's tough. It's
Yeah.
really tough.
I'm ready for another one. I kind of keep quiet about it at home because I don't think Jen's quite so ready about getting another one just yet. But
If you show up
we
one
need to
day
get
with
another
one,
dog.
she'll be all right.
Well,
Honey, how
Happy
hard can it
birthday.
be?
well, that's how we ended up with our first dog. So Jen grew up never having animals. There was never a pet in the house because there were some allergies and stuff going on. And She always talked about how she wanted to have a golden retriever. She really, really badly wanted to have a golden retriever. And I had this brilliant idea. I'm going to surprise her for Christmas with a golden retriever. So we're all on break, and she's at home on Christmas Eve, and she's kind of sicker than a dog, not feeling well.
That's one of the boys in the other room trying to break out. Oh. You're going to have to let it happen.
Let him out?
Yeah. I'm going to have to break out for a second.
All right.
What? It's going to get chaos in here for a moment.
Time.
Just close that door, hon.
Yeah.
They'll go open it.
And he's got the microphone, so we'll hear all of it.
All right, here we go. Easy, boys. Easy.
The hounds.
Watch the camera. Watch the camera. Easy, boys.
Hi there.
They'll settle down in a minute.
Don't eat the microphone. Don't eat the microphone.
Hello. All right, Atlas. All right, Atlas. All right, so you can see the chaos we live with on a regular.
The hounds. Yep.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. Thank you, boys. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
You'd think we'd have well-behaved dogs.
Hi.
Well, they've been locked up this whole time, so. Jeez. Atlas, come on, buddy.
All the kids are up now.
Yeah, no necesito, buddy. No necesito. Easy. Okay.
There's this weird guy in the house.
Hello.
All right.
Hi.
Let's be cool.
Hi.
Can we be some Fonzies? Could we try? Oh, somebody peed. So this is normal.
This is normal.
This is normal. All right, boys.
You'd think we'd have the most well-behaved dogs ever, but...
Well, there's a stranger in the house. There's a stranger in the house.
Okay, T. Yes. Okay, stop.
Okay.
All right. Okay. T-Case. Thank you. Hold on, that's
How can
good.
you not remember Chad, T?
I know.
Been here bunches of times.
I don't know. I haven't seen him before.
Yes. Okay. Good boy. Thank you. All right.
I'm good.
Yes. Thank you. Okay. Good boy.
Come on.
All right. Well, so that's over with. Okay. Thank you.
Mom, Dad, who's this guy? Oh. So.
Okay. Come on.
Come on. Hey, go. Get. All right.
So I have. Oh, he's back.
Okay. Come on. You know what? Go over there and relax.
Oh, it's okay.
Hey.
Come on.
Are you gonna stop?
I'll pet you if you'll.
T-Case? T-Case. All right. My gosh.
Hi, Atlas.
Guys, just chill out.
Hi.
If we let
Yep,
this happen,
I love you
it'll
too.
be over in a couple minutes.
That's
They
fine.
want to smell you.
Hi.
Oh, yeah, see? We like you. We just are... We've been locked up in the bedroom for about an hour almost.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know what to do.
Well, so I.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Hi.
Hi. I want to get on the camera, too.
Hi. It's okay.
T-Case.
Come on.
All right, so well now, I think we've kind of neared the end of the show.
We're almost there.
Thanks, boys.
We're almost there.
Thanks, boys.
Well, so I'll finish telling the story because it's really funny. But
there you go. Good idea.
oh, Mom, we got treats now.
Oh yeah.
Get out of here. Go. Get.
He's not falling for it. All right, baby. No. You don't need to get in there. Okay. Oh. All right. I got the sweetie.
So I end up picking up this.
What's up, puppy?
Oh, did it?
Okay.
I'll start.
For technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties.
All right.
The hounds have arrived.
Yes.
I think we're good. Anyways, so I pick up this golden retriever.
T-case.
A 4-month-old golden retriever.
Oh, God.
And this was near Christmas time, I thought you said?
Christmas Eve.
Ah.
And Jen's not, she's down with something. She's not feeling quite so well. So I go to pick up this dog, bring it home, surprise the hell out of her. She has no clue. She had no clue what was happening. So now she has this 4.5-month-old golden retriever puppy in the house. She's never had a dog before. She's never taken care of a dog before.
She didn't know what to do.
And I had to go to work the next day. So she ends up taking care of this.
Let the bonding begin.
Yeah.
I think you were cute, huh?
Oh, you know what? It turned out to be a really good experience anyway. We always think about it and kind of joke, and it was fun and all, but yeah, that was fun. So she's made me promise, don't ever give me another dog for any other holiday ever. So
just show up in the middle of the week, out of the blue.
Random day.
Random
Right?
day, yeah.
like, I think if I showed up with him.
That one's cute. Look at these faces.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. These
Shoot.
dogs aren't, I don't think they're going to be big.
No.
They're supposedly Lab and Staffordshire Terrier. So they'll be, pretty good sized dogs.
My wife
mediums.
would lose her
They're
if I
mediums.
showed up with a dog.
You know what's funny is Mickey, we nicknamed him Moose.
Yeah.
Mickey Moose, because he was so much bigger than Buster was.
Uh-huh.
And we're like, oh, okay, wow. Well, I have no gauge of what a smaller dog is like anymore because
You've all had big dogs.
T-Case is a little bigger than Mickey was. And Atlas is as big as T-Case.
Yeah.
So I don't even know what a smaller dog is like anymore.
Yeah.
I've lost my sense of gauging it.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Right there.
This is a small puppy, honey.
And this is a small puppy.
Yeah.
And these little small puppies get into all kinds of
Hi.
stuff. No, we don't want to eat that.
Don't eat that.
No.
That's
no.
got a battery in it. You don't want
Whoa. I fell off the edge, man.
to eat that. Well, I think Joseph is gonna be a little bummed that he didn't tag along with me today to see these puppies.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hi.
Oh, it's a shame.
How are you?
Well, tell him to drive his Jeep on over.
Yeah.
Oh, he would love to
Get
come
some
over
puppy
here.
time.
Come play with the puppies with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're home
Anyhow.
all weekend with these.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully. Saturday, supposedly, that one's going bye-bye. These two
Yeah.
could be going to
Well,
a
they'll be
new
bring
home.
replacements.
They'll be
Yeah,
go to
we'll
homes.
swap them out with a new batch.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
that's
like getting
awesome.
an oil change, but it's a puppy change.
Well, guys, thanks for having me over at your place, and thanks for coming on to the
Thank you.
podcast. This has
Thanks
been
for
fun.
having us.
Thanks for thinking we're interesting enough
Right.
for your podcast.
Of course. So, if somebody wants to get involved being a foster, or they want to adopt, how do they get in touch with? What'd you say? Love Connection was
Love Connection Dog Rescue on Facebook.
it? Love Connection Dog
They
Rescue
do have
on
a
Facebook.
website also.
Okay, I can
Is it
put that
dog
down
connect?
on the bottom
Is
here.
it dog rescue or pet rescue?
Dog Rescue.
I thought it was a pet rescue.
Yeah.
See, I don't know. She
Jen,
knows.
Jen might want to come over and get her puppy fixed too.
Oh yeah.
I'll
yeah.
send her your way.
No, don't eat
Come
that.
on over.
No,
That's
not
awesome.
not for chewing.
Not for chewing.
Not for chewing. No.
Oh, well, again, guys, thanks for having me over, and I'm glad you were on, and this was a lot of fun. And thank you for all of you watching, and if you like this podcast, if you like this episode, make sure to hit a like and a subscribe and a share down below. And so, now, what I wanted to announce to all of you is two things, a couple things that are changing on the right line. Number one, I just passed my FAA Part 107 drone test, so there will be some drone footage coming soon to the channel. I've always wanted to do that, and I think that's going to be a riot. So that will be coming. And then number two, I've already created, but in August probably, I'm going to make available 2 memberships to the Right Line. Make sure you check out that membership, and I'll give you a little snippet of what you're going to see on those episodes right here at the end. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to The Right Line. I'm here in beautiful northern Arizona, just south of Flagstaff. And if you're watching this video, it means you decided to join The Right Line in one of my memberships. So new to The Right Line are 2 memberships. One, the first membership will get you early access to all my content on the channel. The second membership for my channel has to do with a gear and off-road instructional membership. And if you're watching this video, it means you've already joined. So thank you very much. In this video, we're going to get started on some sort of entry-level off-roading information. You cannot go off-roading or drive anywhere else without your seatbelt. And that should be the number one. That should be the first thing you do when you get into vehicles, put your seatbelt on. Hands on the steering wheel at, let's say, 9 and 3 or 10 and 2. I prefer like 8:30. Right heel should be planted on the floorboard. The gas pedal should be situated right underneath the ball of my foot. Make sure that you have good awareness of what's around you visually, and that's going to include your side mirrors and your rear view mirrors. Now, if my seat back is not in the best position and I'm reclined too far, number one, I'm not going to have access to some of the buttons that I need. And you assume some of that risk just getting up in the morning, getting dressed, and heading to work. Up the International Four-Wheel Drive Trainers Association online. Find a trainer that's close to you and inquire about some training classes. Now, of course, there are some situations where, consent is sort of implied. For example, if you run up on a scene and somebody has an arterial bleed, I would say, don't necessarily worry about consent. Put a hand on that with some direct pressure first. My second fire extinguisher is attached to the passenger side roll bar behind the passenger side seat, and it is within my reach from my driver's seat. I can reach over, undo the Velcro straps, pull it out, jump out of the Jeep, and I'm ready to go with a fire extinguisher. Whether or not you're on a day trip or an overnighter or an overlanding trip or what have you, plan accordingly with food, snacks, and water.